today we are going to go over the airplane. The airplane is an advanced single leg exercise meant to work or load our lateral hips, so our gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Now these muscles are hip abductors, so they do this with your leg when it's free, and then when you're in the stance, like when we're running, it controls the hip lateral excursion, so it does this motion, kind of zips our hips up. So as we're running, of course, we don't want too much hip motion coming out to the side. There is a little bit, but those are the muscles that work as we land and come into a little bit of hip abduction or spreading outside on the lateral aspect of our hip. So we want those guys to be nice and strong, have lots of capacity to withstand the load of our running. So this is a great exercise to work on it. It does require a little bit of balance, so we can get a little balance aid if you want. A dowel or a broomstick works. So I'll show you the exercise and then let's try it with a little bit of an aid. So tripod foot, always coming down to that foot again, spreading those toes, feeling great contact with your foot. Now, nice, strong, engaged leg. We don't want to be locked out. We want to be, our quads and our hamstrings all activated so that we're nice and stable and strong, coming into a single leg balance. Then we're going to come into an airplane position, like so, or like so. Again, I like to cross my arms across my chest, but my hips are facing straight down, so I haven't turned them. Okay, my chest, my shoulders and my hips are in line. So right now, we're loading that lateral hip just here, trying to stay like so, instead of dropping that hip down. I'll show through here. So what we want to do here now, in our airplane position, is we want to open up away from that standing leg, whoop, and then close back down, okay? So what we're doing here is we are contracting those hip muscles, the glute med and the glute minimus, and then we're making them work as they lengthen back down to our starting position. Now you can go beyond this if you want, but I would say maybe just start coming back to that nice neutral position. Now let's try that with an assistance. So have your pole just out in front of you. We'll start in the same way. Get that nice strong contact with your starting leg. Feel a nice strong engagement all the way up the chain, nice and long. Then, with your hips and your shoulders remaining square, come to an airplane position. Now we're going to open up away from that standing leg, so our hips and our shoulders and our hips remain in line, and then come back down. Here's a great place to work on your intra-abdominal pressure, your maintaining of your canister, and then let that come down so you're controlling it down. This is the main action here. Sure, we're opening up, and that's creating strength as well, but we want to control this motion as we come down. Hopefully by now you're really feeling it in the outside of that hip, and then back down again. Good. Let's try the other side using the assistance. So, tripod foot. Start nice and strong and tall. Okay, come into a single leg stance. You can use that pole to help you. Shoulders and hips are in line. Top and the bottom of the barrel or canister is stacked, so ribs over pelvis, and then hinge forward into that airplane position. Come to the point where you can maintain that stack. Maybe you're not fully into a flat airplane. Maybe you're slightly inclined, as I am on this side in particular. Then we're going to open up away from that foot to the inside of our body, and then control it back down, staying nice and long in that spine. Open up. Feel that tripod foot, feeling so much stability from the ground, closing back up again. Let's do a couple more times on this side. Then we'll give it a try without the assistance if you want to. We're getting the same action of our lateral stabilizers using assistance, so that's okay. All right, so if you feel confident or you want to, give it a try without, but always form is of utmost importance. So if you're losing control and you're losing your form, then go back to using the assistance. So I'm going to go back to my left leg. I've got tripod foot starting nice and tall, stack top and the bottom of the barrel, come into my airplane position, maintaining that stacked position, maintaining the hips and the shoulders pointing down to the ground at the same angle. Okay, I'm going to open up to the right. I've got my hands on my pelvis and my ribs just as feedback to keep them nice and straight, in line with each other, making sure my canister is maintained. A gentle amount of intra-abdominal pressure. And then again, controlling back down to that starting airplane position. Open up and control back down. Okay, so we're loading our foot. We're working on that single leg stance. We're working on all of our intrinsic muscles, our extrinsic muscles of our foot. We're working on our lateral stability and our lateral strength. This one has so many little bits to it. And then relax. Good, let's try the other side. Okay, tripod foot, stack top and the bottom, nice and long and strong. You'll see I'm not as good on this side, and that's okay. I need to work on this. Coming in to my airplane position. Okay, opening up, maintaining my nice long torso, long neck, stacked barrel or stacked canister. Shortening the lateral musculature in this position and then controlling it as it lengthens to this position. Again, such a good exercise to work on the capacity of that lateral hip. Let's do one more time. And relax. Okay, so again, this is a more advanced version, single leg version, working on lateral hip strength and capacity. If you find yourself with lateral hip pain, then maybe go back to some of those single leg glute bridges, even just the single leg standing. Those are great places to start in place of the airplane. If your tissue is nice and healthy and you're at the point where you can start working on building that capacity, then go ahead and try a couple of these airplanes on each side, a couple of sets, making sure you've got some nice rest in between, and then hopefully this will allow you to run injury-free and feel really strong as you land, as you do your heel strike and come into your mid-stance, so that we're not wasting any energy coming out to the side. You've got that strong capacity to zip up and work those lateral hip muscles nicely.